everyone, so today's video is going to be a book unhaul. Now this is a video that I never thought I would make because I'm not really someone who unhauls books really. Like I usually tend to keep my books, even if I don't really like them a lot, like if I've read them, I usually want to keep them just so that I can reread them maybe someday. Like I'm someone who actually rereads a lot of my books. So I don't tend to unhaul books. I haven't unhauled books in 10 years, I'm pretty sure, or maybe over 10 years even. Sorry if you can hear my cat leave. But yeah, I haven't unhauled books in a very, very long time. So I'm gonna unhaul some now because I am gonna be moving soon, which is very exciting because we're moving to a more accessible apartment that actually has an elevator, which means I'm gonna be able to go outside maybe once a week. Because now, because we have no elevator, we just have stairs, I can only go outside once a month usually, and if I go outside more than that, I basically break my whole body. Like last week I went outside 3 times and I feel like someone hit me with a car. Even though I didn't get hit by a car, I feel like I have been. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm also on a lot of pain medication right now, so yeah. It's not to the point where I can't really think straight because of the pain medication, but it's making me a bit woozy. So if I seem a little bit out of it, it's because of that. But yeah, let's just get into this book unhaul. There's not a lot of books because like I said, I don't really unhaul books unless I really don't like them or I know I'm never gonna read them ever. So yeah, there's not a lot of books. There's 10 of them out of my 250 books that I own. So yeah, it's not a lot, but it's something at least. So yeah, let's just get into all of these books. The first book is a Stephen King book. Now, I'm not really someone who likes these kind of books, like the mystery, thriller, horror type stuff. I don't really like these type of books. And I know that Stephen King's a very popular author, obviously, but I just have no interest in this book. I know I'm never gonna read it, and I know that the font is also really tiny and it's quite big, and the size of the book is just really weird. So yeah, I just know I'm never gonna read it. I know Stephen King's supposed to be a really good author, but he's just not for me. I don't like those type of books. So yeah, I'm sure someone else will enjoy this a lot. So yeah. Then next is a very different book from a Stephen King book, and that is When Dimple Met Rishi. This is a book that I bought a very long time ago, at the very start when I first started reading in English, I'm pretty sure. And so I would pick up books that a lot of these very popular booktubers liked, and so I picked this book up and I think I liked it at the time, but I know I'm never gonna reread it again. I'm sure it was a good book at the time that I read it, but now my reading tastes have changed, and these type of romance books, I just don't really like them, especially after I've already read them. And considering that this is a book that I read before I started annotating my books, I can easily just give it to someone else because, my handwriting isn't in it. And I feel because I tend to do that, write in my books, even in books I don't really like books I've read recently, I can't really give them to someone else because I've written in it. So yeah, that's also a reason why I don't do unhauls, because again, a lot of the books I want to unhaul, I can't really unhaul because I've written in them. And again, this was before I started annotating my books, so yeah, I can just give this to someone and they wouldn't even know that I've read it. So yeah, I am gonna get rid of this book. Again, it wasn't a bad book necessarily, it's just way out of my age range now. And again, because I didn't annotate it, it's easy to just unhaul it. So yeah. Then next is Everything Everything. This is a book that was very popular a lot of years ago, and again, I bought it because it was so popular. I think I liked it at the time, but I feel if I reread it now, I would hate it, because now I'm a disabled person. I used to be also disabled when I read this, but I didn't know it yet. And so now reading this again as a disabled person, especially the ending, I feel I'm gonna spoil the whole concept of the book, but I'm gonna say it anyways because again, this book is years old at this point. The concept of her mother basically just inventing her whole disease or condition or whatever, that idea of the whole Munchausen by proxy thing. I don't know if I pronounced it properly, but that whole idea, I get that it's you know, an interesting thing to write about, but it's so overdone at this point that, like, as a disabled person myself who literally gets told that, like, I fake my disabilities for attention, like, I don't want to read about it. Like, I don't want to read about, like, people who are actually faking a disability, or, like, another person is forcing their child to fake a disability. Like, I don't like that whole concept. Like, I know that's an actual thing, obviously. Like, I know it's not just, like, a plot point for a book. I know that it's an actual thing, but I just don't want to read about it. Like, as a disabled person who constantly gets told that, like, I'm faking for attention, I don't want to read about it. Like, it's just so, like, invalidating to me. And, like, I know that that's not, like, the point of this book. The point is not to invalidate disabled people's feelings. Like, I'm not saying that that's the point of the book, but, like, to me, that's what it's gonna feel like. Like, again, I read this years ago and I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I gave it, like, 4 stars or even 5 stars, maybe. I really enjoyed it at the time. But again, rereading it as a disabled person is absolutely not gonna be fun. So I'm just not going to. And again, this is one of those books that I read when I wasn't annotating yet, so I can easily just give it away to someone. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So yeah, like, I don't hate this book. I'm not mad at the author for writing it. Like, I know that it's a very popular theme, but I don't want to read about it. Like, again, to me, it's so overdone that, like, I'm just done with it. Like, I don't want to read about it anymore. So again, no hate to, like, the author or this book even. It's just, it's not for me anymore. So yeah, I'm sure someone else will like it. So yeah. The next book is Fangirl. Now, when I bought this book, I really thought I was going to enjoy it because a lot of people enjoyed it at the time. But I feel like I bought this at the wrong moment, because I feel like right after I bought this, I entered, like, the phase of, like, I don't want to read books like this anymore. Like, it's too young for my tastes. Like, it's very young adult, and I'm more, like, you know, towards, like, the older spectrum of young adult. Like, those are the type of books I like to read. This is just, like, a bit too young to me. Like, the writing is just, like, it's too young. Like, the subject also feels too young. Even though, like, the main characters are, like, in university, I'm pretty sure, it just feels so young. Like, they were supposed to be, like, 12, 13 years old instead of, like, you know, above 18, I'm assuming. Like, it just feels way too young to me. And so I never ended up reading it fully. I ended up getting, like, halfway and then just being like, it's just not for me anymore. Again, I bought this way too late. I feel like if I bought it, like, a year or two earlier than I did, like, I would have actually enjoyed it and I would have finished reading it. But because I bought it, like, just a little bit too late, I just never finished it. So yeah, I also didn't annotate it. I just didn't like it that much. So yeah. Then next is Phantom. I don't know anything about this book. I just bought it because it seemed interesting at the time, and I was kind of, like, in this phase where, like, I felt like I needed to read books like this to, like, make my parents happy. Because if I bought books like Fangirl and stuff like that, they would be like, oh, you're reading way below, like, your age, and, like, you should read books that, like, fit your age. And so I would buy books like this, and I have no interest in them. And I know that, like, people always say that, like, I'm too old to read, like, young adult type books, but, like, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be, like, 40 years old and I'm still gonna read, like, young adult books. Like, I don't care. I just have no interest in them. Like, just the cover is just so, it's so boring to me. Like, there's nothing going on, and, like, I just don't like it. So yeah, I'm sure someone else will like it. So yeah, again, if you like these type of books, like, I'm not, like, hating on you, or I'm not even hating on the book. I don't know what it's about. Like, it's just I don't personally like them. So yeah, don't be mad at me. And the next book is There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom. Now, I bought this book because I thought it was going to be a lot more, like, trans related than it was. Like, I don't think there was any, like, talk about trans people at all. Like, I read this, like, a long time ago, so I might be wrong. But, like, I feel like it's just very, like, middle grade, like, you can wear what you want type stuff. And that's not what I was expecting. So yeah, it just kind of, like, took me by surprise. This book, like, it wasn't the book that I was expecting, so I didn't really like it that much. Again, I also read it when I wasn't annotating yet, so I can just give it away without really thinking about it. Like I said, I do have more books that I want to unhaul, but I can't because like my handwriting is in them and I've like marked stuff with like highlighters, so it's not like I can give those books away because again, my handwriting and like the highlighter stuff is in it. So yeah, there's more books I want to unhaul, but I can't. And I'm not too angry about it. Like, I like annotating my books. Like, I'm not going to be angry at myself for doing that. Like, it's fun. So, yeah, I'm not really mad at that. Like, I like keeping a lot of my books. So, yeah. The next book is Wayward Son. Now, this is kind of like a book that is in, like, the same universe as, like, Fangirl. And Carry On is, like, the prequel to this one, I'm pretty sure. And I have read Carry On, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Like, a lot of people were like raving about Carry On at the time, and so I read it and I was just kind of like, you know, like I've read fan fiction better than this, because that's the whole concept of like Fangirl, the book that I showed earlier that I'm also going to give away. Like, the whole concept of that book is that it's someone who's writing fan fiction, and then Carry On and this book are the fan fiction, and I've read better fan fiction than this. Like, not this because I've never read it, like I've never opened this book, but like Carry On, I've read better fan fiction than that. So like, I don't know, like it's just not for me. Like, as someone who reads fan fiction a lot, because it's like easy for me. Like, I'm someone who, because of my disabilities, I often can't like read books because they hurt too much to hold up, or I just don't have the brain power to like read something new to me. And fan fiction is just like characters that I already know and a story that I already know, and they just build off of that. So like, it's very easy to read. So yeah, this just not for me. Again, never read it, never opened it, so obviously there's no annotations in this. I am like putting my arm down now, like I'm not lifting it up anymore because I'm in a lot of pain. So yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, never read it, never opened it, so it's still in like really great condition. So like, there's no point in like keeping it if I know I'm never gonna read it. So yeah, the next book is this book, and I'm once again gonna put my arm down because I'm in a lot of pain. And yeah, again, I bought this around the same time that I bought Fangirl. I was still like in the mood to read these books, but I was kind of like getting out of reading books like this. So I didn't enjoy this a lot. It was just a bit like okay to me. And again, no annotation, so like, why keep it if I know I'm never gonna read it again? Again, I don't like hate books like this. It's just that like at this point, this is like out of my like reading taste. Like, it's way too young for me. So yeah, I'm sure someone else will enjoy it. So yeah. Then the last book is One of Us is Lying. Now, this is a book that got like really popular, and so I bought it because it's so popular. Also, this was one of my first book with sprayed edges, I'm pretty sure, and I thought it looks like really cool. So yeah, the concept is interesting. It's like a mystery like novel basically for like teenagers. Like, it's cool, like it's nice, but it's out of my age range now. Like, I don't really like books like this anymore. It's just a little bit too young for me now. So yeah, that's basically like the case for like almost all of these books. It's either too young for me now or too old for me. So yeah, I feel like at this point I know my reading taste like pretty well. So yeah, I've gotten a lot better at like buying books that I'm actually gonna enjoy. So yeah, let's just end this video because like I said, I can't even like move my left arm anymore because I'm in so much pain. So yeah, let's just end this video. So that was all of the books I'm gonna unhaul, because again, we're moving finally to a more accessible apartment, which is great. So at least now I have like 10 less books to move with me. I still have like 200 of them, but hey, at least there's like 10 of them that I'm not going to take with me. So yeah, I hope this was kind of like an interesting video. I'm probably never going to do a video like this again, unless like in 10 years, if this YouTube channel like still exists, then maybe, but like, it's probably never going to happen again. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, put in the comments below whether or not you like unhaul books, I guess, because I feel like it's such an interesting concept, because I feel like either people unhaul books like all the time, like every year, or people like me who just like never unhaul books unless it's like absolutely necessary. So yeah, let me know which one you are, I guess. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I looked a bit like rough during it. I did try to like dress up a little bit nicely, even though I feel like absolutely horrible. So yeah, I hope that kind of like made up for it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and bye.